Oh god, it's so big. Oh, welcome everyone. Sorry for the video. If you're watching live, that intro video is 4 times the resolution and so big on the screen. Woo. That's right. It's like that musical episode of Doug where Phoebe sings, "I'm gonna be big, big," and she's like much bigger than normal. And yeah. Anyway, welcome to Respawn Aim Fire, the kick-ass irreverent gaming podcast from ourselves. We are now independently published. We no longer have these awful corporate overlords of affable idiots. They're all dead. We slew them. Is that the past tense of slay? Slay, slayed, slew, slope? We slope them. We slope them. I'm one of your hosts, Chad Michael. Let's go. In this, we've got here our regular co-host, Adam. Okie dokie. Gumbert, how are you, Adam?
Hello. I'm scared. I'm a treasure tracker.
And our other usual co-host here, we've got Alex. Cozina, how are you?
Man, oh man. It was quite the journey to get back here, but I'm finally back here and I am excited to tell you about the trip. Excited to tell you about just what happened at the cottage this past weekend.
At the cottage? Sounds like such a hoity-toity little, ooh, the cottage.
It's really
there.
not. It's really
finally
not.
we're at the cottage.
Yeah.
In one of the
You can go
secret
down to the
discords,
pool house.
in one of the secret discords, they actually the ongoing joke we had is that it's the murder cabin from like any given horror movie where people get murdered at a cabin.
Me
That's
and
what
my
kind of
father
cottage it
went
is.
down to the murder cabin this afternoon.
Went down to
get
go check
murdered
on
or
our
to
Downtown
murder people?
Abbey DVD collection.
Oh man, I should just real talk. I probably should just move my DVD collection to the cottage. Just keep it there because we never use it over here.
And everyone knows that's the best place for a DVD player is at the cottage. You are now watching us live on Monday evenings, 8:30 Eastern-ish on twitch.tv/respawn-aim-fire, which is new. That's right. Remember, we divorced our dads. And we have on demand. You can catch us YouTube and podcast services on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern time as well. You'll notice someone's missing audio-wise. Normally, you don't see this person that early video-wise in the podcast, but you'll notice Joel is not here. Joel,
He's actually being very quiet. He was someone dared him and someone went up to him and was like, Joel, I bet you can't speak for an entire week. And he's like, oh, I'll take that bet. And
you know what?
What's sad is the person that bet him that bet didn't promise him anything if he won it. So he's going through this entire experience for no reward at the end of it, which is unfortunate.
It's true. It's true. He is incapacitated at the moment. He swallowed a whole electric eel and didn't realize it was still alive. And then it started buzzing in his tummy. And so now he is powering the grid in Chicago with clean energy while the eel is still inside him. So he's got other obligations. So he's not here.
By the way, what's crazy is that the electric eel in question actually came from the dream that he talked about on the Raptor Dark episode from a couple of months ago. Right. And so when it came out of his dream into the everyday reality of real life, it was speaking all French. And had Joel understood how to speak French, he probably could have communicated with it and it probably would have went on its way. But because there was just a breakdown in communication, he got stung real bad. It was real unfortunate.
It's true. It's true. And that dream actually was because he was trying to dream of electric sheep to try and figure out whether or not Blade Runner is real. Because it turns out Joel is an android.
Whoa.
And Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is the name of the book that Blade Runner is based off of. Boom, full circle with giant, I don't know how that's full circle, but it is. All right, speaking of full circle, barf. Ugh, that's the real reason Joel's not here. And your barf game is Power Wash Simulator. That's our backlog. That's our backlog accomplishment with Respawn. God damn it. Backlog accomplishment with Respawn and Friends game for September is Power Wash Simulator. You all voted over at patreon.com/respawn-aim-fire, and you tied again this month, which means our friend Dave, who was on the Barf game review for August, which was Claire Obscure. Go watch that, by the way, everybody. It's out now. Spoilercast for Claire Obscure Expedition 33 with Jerica and Dave. He chose In Your Honor, and he chose Power Wash Simulator. play that. We learned today there apparently is a story mode for that thing, and it's 38 and a half hours to beat just the main story. So, like, don't worry about doing all that, but play the game, spray some stuff, have some fun, come talk about it. End of the month. We've also got Rafter Dark. Episode 8 is available in early access for our patrons for the next 2 weeks, which means you get to hear all of the fun stories and all the inside jokes that no one else knows about until October 1st. So go check that out. If you are not a patron over at patreon.com/respawningfire, you have access to episode 7, which was somewhere on our IKEA timeline. I don't remember what, but it's there and it's great. We've got fun things to talk about today, but we're going to start today by recapping the Nintendo Direct that happened on Thursday, September 11th. Oh my God.
No, was it not Friday?
No, it was the 12th. It was the 12th.
Okay, I was going to say, so Nintendo stepping all over. Never forget. Direct recap. This comes from Adam Bankers at IGN, and by comes from, I mean, we've cherry-picked a few things that we want to talk about that were on the Nintendo Direct, and we cherry-picked them from the IGN article. So here we go. The follow-up, Open, Fade Up from Black, 60 frames a second, Super Mario Bros. Movie is officially called the Super Mario Galaxy Movie, and it will be released on April 3rd, 2026. We got a quick tease of Princess Peach's castle before the footage shifted up to the sky, surprising everyone, and goes, Super Mario Galaxy. And then Luma, the little baby from the first movie that is hilarious, goes, let's go, I think, or something like that. Or okie dokie. I made a Mario sound.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie, something like that. And they're like,
wow.
Oh, stub my toe. And I'm pumped. I'm pumped for the Super Mario Galaxy's movie because I fucking loved the first one. I thought it was a perfect Mario movie. And Mario Galaxy is just amazing, especially the music. Oh my God, when you hear the bow, 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 bow kick in this trailer. Any of you boys excited for this?
I saw this movie under very kind of weird circumstances. I had just come off of a Easter egg painting party that went really bad because one of the aunts at the party was real annoying. I don't need to go super in depth into that particular story. Trust me, I have another story that I'll be going more in depth into later on in this podcast. But yeah, was in a bad mood that day. Saw that movie, really rejuvenated my mood. Had a lot of fun watching it. And I honestly have not thought about that movie for like a single second. Occasionally, every now and then, someone on Twitter will be like, yo, look at this song that they were going to use for the Donkey Kong sequence, but then they changed it to Take On Me by Aha. And I'm like, all right, that's unfortunate. But other than that, I've not really thought about it. I hope that the Super Mario Galaxy movie is good. I can't say I'm particularly hyped or not hyped either way.
Speaking of Donkey Kong, they went through the cast list of this. And announced as if it were the first time, Chris Pratt is Mario. Charlie Day is Luigi. They did all of the characters from last time except for Seth Rogen. So it appears Donkey Kong won't be in this movie. Maybe he's just like busy doing his other Donkey Kong only.
Get his own adventure.
Yeah. Take it to the bank. Take it to the bank. The in the same way that the post-credit scene for the original Mario movie was the reveal of Yoshi's egg, post-credit scene for this movie is going to be teasing the Seth Rogen Donkey Kong movie.
There might be perhaps Candy Kong's egg. We're going to get a little like Magic School Bus style adventure where we go into Candy Kong's vagina.
Candy Kong,
all the way up into our ovaries and our fallopian tubes and
very slight spoilers for Donkey Kong Bonanza. I was shocked that they actually referenced Candy Kong in Donkey Kong Bonanza. I would have thought that by this point they would have just culled her from the Donkey Kong canon, but they referenced her. She's still within the Donkey Kong canon, so anything's possible.
Yeah, everything canon is still canon in that game. Next that we want to talk about here because Adam wrote it, so he put his thing first. Hades 2 will officially be released on Switch 2 in 1.0 version, no longer early access, on September 25th, 2025. That's 10 days from now. It'll be released digitally on that date and physically on November 12th, 2 days after my mom's birthday.
This actually is very convenient for me because literally 2 days afterwards, I'm heading on a plane ride to Vancouver to take part in the Pokemon Go Safari Zone event that's happening over there. So I was like, man, I don't really have a good game for that particular plane ride, like outside of Hollow Knight Silksong, if I'm still playing that game at that point in time. And now that perfectly fulfilled that need. So that's great.
Is that 2 days after the September digital release date or 2 days after the physical November release date?
The digital release date.
Okay.
Yeah, which I don't mind. I know some people really care about physical, but this is when I was always going to play digital.
Adam, are you going to buy a Switch 2 for this and buy it digitally on Switch 2 to play this, or are you going to play it on your PC?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course.
$550 to play a game I already own on my PC. Sounds like a good idea. Now, I'm just very excited about the 1.0. Been looking forward to that. And then you look back at this year and you're like, what a fucking bloodbath of good video games.
Oh my God, right?
What is this year? They're like, Silksong, it's the prodigal son, it's coming to rest. 2 weeks later, fucking Hades 2 coming out one point. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. Good times, very excited. I played, I'm gonna say a lot of that game in early access, but I haven't played any of the updates. So this will be pretty fresh for me, even though I already played 30 hours of that game last year. So looking forward to it. My September is booked.
I am pumped for Hades 2. It is unfortunately a Switch console exclusive at launch with no indication of when the PlayStation and Xbox versions are coming. And I have enough to play right now, so I will wait on that one until the PlayStation launch comes. So I might not play this in time for Game of the Year, y'all. It all just depends on when it comes out, which means it has the opportunity to be Game of the Year 3 years in a row.
Hey, why not? I'm going to do real quick research, just not that it really matters. So original Hades 1, when it came out of early access and came to Switch and everything, was September 17th of 2020, came to PlayStation and Xbox on August 13th of the following year.
A year later?
Yeah, it might be like a year thing. I don't
even
know
realize it was Switch exclusive on the first one.
Yeah, first one was Switch and PC.
Wow.
Well, again, early access, it's exactly the same thing. Early access PC, day one on Switch and PC, obviously, and then a year later for the other consoles. So I hope it's a little quicker turnaround, but I would not be shocked if we also get a year this time.
Wild. Next on the list, we've got the biggest surprise in video game history. The Virtual Boy is coming to Nintendo Switch Online. And not in the way you think. It is not just you get to play these games in 2D. This is a headset required expansion pass option where you have to buy either a replica of the original hardware that you put your Nintendo Switch into and then crouch down and put your eyes against, or a cardboard version that also has the stereoscopic lenses in it that costs $30, $25, something like that. I think it's $30. Or the $100
the cardboard one. Yeah, I think it's $25. Yeah,
the $100, $100 American dollar. Probably everywhere else it's like a normal price. Plastic recreation of the Virtual Boy. What are your thoughts on this?
Man, so we here at Respawning Fire do a little game called Console Honor Roll, where we guess the best-selling games of various video game platforms of yesteryear. And we have, oftentimes we have very good timing. We probably have had some of the worst timing in the entire history of this podcast, in that we did the Virtual Boy Console Honor Roll like 2 weeks ago. Had we not done that episode then, like, I was absent from the following episode, and so we would have been doing the Virtual Boy Console Honor Roll today. Instead, we're not doing that. We might be doing,
let me tell you,
another console.
I recognized that the robot boxing one, Robotabox or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I was like,
what's it called?
That's the one.
Teleroboxer.
Teleroboxer. Yeah. When they showed that on screen.
Yeah. That's, I mean, go ahead.
Cozy. Here's what this is. Again, it's fine. I'm cool. The Virtual Boy is not a beloved console, first of all. So them doing it is like, this is a goof, that's a gaff, whatever, it's cool. Preservation, quote unquote. And $25 for a cardboard option is fine. The fact that these fuckers really said, why don't we charge these guys $100 for a required peripheral? This is absolutely a thing where me and my father at the cottage have the Virtual Boy plastic edition. That is the dumbest fucking thing. But if you're gonna have fun and play into it, that's cool. But like, that's actually stupid.
I mean, I guess
that's actually stupid.
If you're gonna keep your DVD player at the cottage, the Virtual Boy was like similar timing in terms of technology. So like, if you're gonna have the cottage represent a particular snapshot in time, that would be a great place to keep
$100 for bad video games that will make you sick. Enjoy. Fucking idiots.
I bet you that at some point in the future, a couple of months from now, they'll be like, yeah, we did an update and now you can just play these games normally on your TV. You don't need any of the extra hardware or whatnot. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, this is a dumb call, but also it's the Virtual Boy. So it's not like they're not. I would be more upset if they were locking really fantastic games behind this dumb, like plastic, cardboard, lock gate, but they're not. So
here's my hot take. I'm glad they didn't release just the 2D versions of these things, because
really,
I feel like Virtual Boy is similar to like VR, more like a VR experience, like a game, especially a lot of the early games. Like, it's impressive and you're like, whoa, the novelty of this is like really there when you're in VR. But then if you play it or if you view it on like a 2D screen or something, it's like, it's not impressive at all. And the only reason why you are taken aback or that you are shocked is just like how it looks in VR. And I feel like the same is going to be a Virtual Boy, where these games aren't great. Well, I hazard to say, probably none of them are even good. But if you take away the novelty of the Virtual Boy and the stereoscopic 3D and all of that comes along with it, they are probably literally worthless. Like, there any value that you would have gotten from playing them is probably gone, because the games are dirt, if not for the 3D stereoscopic. So I kind of am really glad that they stuck to their guns and like, no, if you're going to play a Virtual Boy game, you have to play it in stereoscopic 3D with one of these two, Google Cardboard or, $100 options. So I'm kind of glad. I'm not glad, though, that they are still tied to the Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pass service, that who knows whether that's going to make the jump to the next for quote unquote preservation's sake. Like, it's fleeting. Their online subscription service is fleeting. So who knows?
That's not preservation. It's, here's a stupid thing. Do you want to give us money for it?
Yeah. And yes, I will. I will give them $100 because I think it's really cool.
If you got the money and it'll be funny to put that thing up on your shelf, sure, why not?
I'm going to do a whole episode from the Virtual Boy on my Switch, too.
You'll throw up 10 minutes in.
So that's coming. Speaking of another thing that costs a lot of money, Pokemon ZA is getting some downloadable content, some DLC. They announced on October 16th, the same day as release, there is a what do they call it? Mega Dimension DLC that is available.
Mega Dimension. And
it features a bunch of new Mega Pokemon, including Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y. And they didn't talk about the price at all in the Direct. And it turns out, if you go and look it up online, it's 30 doll hairs. It is $30
doll hairs
for this DLC that comes out the same day as the game, which already I was feeling sketch about. Or like, well, if the DLC is coming out the same day as the game, why not make it like a pre-order bonus or an upgrade or something like that? No, it's DLC coming out the same day for $30. And all we know about it is that it has Raichu. We know nothing else about this DLC.
You call them dollars, but we call them doll hairs at the cottage.
My father can buy your father.
The ball's on Nintendo to do this. I am not a shill for Pokemon the way that I am the stupid Nintendo Virtual Boy thing. I will, of course, buy Pokemon ZA, and it will delight me, even though it looks gross visually. I will, of course, buy it. But no, I will wait for this DLC until at least the day of. Until somebody tells me it's worth getting, and then I'll buy it. Like, I didn't buy the Scarlet and Violet DLC because I looked online and everyone's like, that DLC sucks, asshole. And so I was like, cool, not going to spend the money on that. So
I take issue with this announcement, but not for the reason you might think. And I'm going to put a pin on this, and I will remove the pin.
Cozy a few news with a Y, but not where you think. Wait, what are you going to remove the pin?
A few news stories from this one.
Oh, okay.
Few one down the list.
Next up.
Stay tuned.
Super Mario Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 edition is coming. I don't know what date, etc., but it's coming.
This is, I don't expect to spend that much time with this one. I had fun playing Super Mario Wonder. Feels like the conversation surrounding it was over real fast, but I'm going to have fun playing some of the new Switch 2 edition stuff. I just hope that the cost of switching over isn't too expensive. Their pricing scheme has really varied all over the place. If this is just like a cool $9.99, that will be perfectly acceptable by me, but it might be more.
I have a feeling it's going to be in line with the other Nintendo Switch 2 edition upgrades, which are $20. like for Kirby and the Zelda games and all that kind of stuff. So I loved Wonder a lot, but this whole Nintendo Switch 2 edition version of it seems like it is aimed at multiplayer stuff, and like not like multiplayer, like mini games, not necessarily like levels and things like that. Which only time I played multiplayer in this game was with Joel's wife, who eventually took the Switch into the bedroom by herself because we were screwing up her save file because we weren't good enough for her. So, yeah. Next up, Mario Tennis Fever! Pata, 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 pon.
So,
the story mode.
I put this one in the list just to say that, like, historically, I've not particularly been drawn to a lot of these Mario sports games. Sports games in general, not really my jam. Real talk, when they unveiled the story mode for this game at the very end of this game's trailer about how Mario and company get turned into babies and they're all babby mode, and because they're babies, they don't have any tennis skills and they have to learn tennis skills from scratch. I was like, you know what? I went from having no interest in this game to being like, I actually could see myself having fun playing through the story mode in this one. And like historically, these Mario sports games as of late have been really light on story modes of this sort of ilk. They really like have done away with them in the modern era. And so seeing that, I was like, this actually has made me go from like 0% interested to 55% interested. This isn't something I'm guaranteed to pick up, but I have eyes on it where I didn't expect to before for that reason alone.
Eyes on it. I, like you, am not a Mario sports game person. I've never had one growing up, never played them growing up. And then I got one. It was Super Mario Strikers Charged for the Nintendo Wii. And I said, this game fucking slaps. This game is awesome. And then the second one I got was Mario Tennis Aces for the Nintendo Switch. And I said, this is maybe the only game I ever like legitimately regret buying. And so I think Strikers Charge was maybe a fluke. And so I 100% will probably skip this one and maybe never pick it up unless everyone says it's the best thing ever, et cetera, et cetera. Although I did appreciate baby mode.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, God loves Mormons and he wants some more. That's why they're going 2x2, going door to door. Danganronpa 2x2 edition coming to Nintendo Switch.
I only ever played the original Danganronpa on the PlayStation Vita. I actually never played Danganronpa 2. I did want to just highlight this one real quick because this game is like blowing up in a bunch of sort of the circles that I frequent on my secret discords, because basically this version of Danganronpa 2, this re-release is introducing an entire new campaign that, from the way that they have described it, basically is like, it's basically going to be almost like 75% of an entirely new Danganronpa game, which is pretty big considering that the series has more or less been dormant for the past little while. It's not like Danganronpa 3 did very well, by the standards of the Danganronpa series and was received well, but it's like the series kind of reached its natural conclusion and it seemed like they didn't really have anything more to say. So surprising that they're like basically soft releasing an entirely new game in the guise of being just an alternate like version of a game that already exists as part of a re-release of it. So
what I appreciate about this game is that
highlight that
it's Danganronpa. I have never played any of them, but as I understand, they're kind of like a whodunit, solve the mystery, Agatha Christie kind of thing. Yeah, and part of the press release that I remember, maybe somebody read it on Kind of Funny or something like that, is that it's based around the same crime or whatever the fuck of the first Danganronpa 2, but that this one has a different a different killer or whatever. Like the ending is different. Yeah. The gotcha, like the thing you're trying to figure out, is different in this one. So almost like that movie Clue with Tim Curry. The where during the credits they play like the 4 different ways that same story could have happened, and this one's new. So I appreciate it's not just like a re-release, but if you're playing it again, there are surprises, including the whole conceit of the game of who did the thing is still a surprise to you as well.
Exactly.
Next up, the titular game from the title of our stream today, Bicicletas, 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 Metroid Prime 4 Biker Edition, where we see Samus riding bikes out with the clan in the sand. Not that clan, man. Adam. No. For those audio listeners, Adam mouthed the word clan. I didn't just make up clan. Yeah, get out of here.
I was going to say,
Cozy, tell us about it.
Most of the other things that Samus Aran is riding alongside in that trailer, she's shooting down. She's pretty much just a one-man army. She's not really driving around with anyone else. She's
Samus
not part of
Aran in the clan?
clan or organ or
Oh
anything.
shit,
It is
Samus Aran.
interesting.
And wait a minute, there's something. The bike is a person. It is a clan. Remember, it's named Viola.
That's true. That is true. I guess if you count the bike as its own being, which who knows where the story might go, then yeah, it is technically a clan in that regard. Ah, man. Okay. So here's the thing. The trailers that we've gotten for Metroid Prime 4 so far have been kind of all over the place. First trailer we got, the teaser trailer last year, was very kind of straightforward and down the middle. Here is a gameplay showcase of this game. This is a proof of life video that is going to explicitly show off that this is an actual real game and not just concept art that someone has been spinning around on a unicycle inside Retro Studios' office. I don't know where the unicycle got into that comparison anyways. Second trailer that we got for Metroid Prime 4 just before the Switch 2 Direct, not very good. There's some weirdo narrator that was like, in Metroid Prime 4, you can use your psychic abilities to solve puzzles and open doors. Just clown shoes. Everyone made fun of it. Game still looks really good. There's a lot to kind of like in these trailers, but it's like, something is off about this. The way that they're marketing these games just isn't doing them justice. Here's the thing. I really like the idea of Samus Aran having a motorcycle that she can use to ride around the vast open plains of this planet that she's been thrust into in Metroid Prime 4. There are a lot of people in the community right now that really don't like it. You go on the Metroid subreddit, you go on, other places on the internet where people are talking about this game. People are very divided on this because people see the kind of like open plains, that are showcased in this trailer, and they're like, this doesn't really feel in line with what I want out of the Metroid series. What I want out of the Metroid series is a more kind of like focused and crafted, Metroidvania experience, not really an open world game. And what you're showing to me is what seems to be like very much akin to like an open world game with, some secluded and closed off areas over here and there. And I'm very much of the opinion of like, I think that we just need to kind of wait and see more, wait for Nintendo to tell us more about this game. Because like, it's easy to forget about it now because it's been so long. But like back in the day, the original Metroid Prime for the GameCube underwent a very kind of like similar narrative to, say, The Wind Waker, where The Wind Waker was first unveiled and everyone in the Zelda community was up in arms. Why does this game look how it looks? This is Zelda. This is awful. This is kiddie shit. And then the game came out and everyone was like, oh, we were wrong about this.
Kitty shit.
Similar thing with Metroid Prime, where when they initially unveiled, hey, Metroid Prime is going to be in first person, the then very small Metroid community revolted. They were like, Super Metroid is a, Metroidvania 2D experience. You're turning it into a first-person shooter. What are you doing? And in the end, all those, concerns ended up being all for naught. Metroid Prime 1 was, a masterpiece and very much a Metroidvania game through and through, despite being in first person. And so I look at this bike stuff and I'm like, yes, we're, showing off a kind of like very different style of game than what we've seen before. Looks a lot more open world-esque. But I think that we shouldn't jump to conclusions because we've been wrong about this kind of stuff in the past. I say all that, and I have 2 points. Number one, I don't think that this trailer, in spite of all that, was particularly great. I really feel like Nintendo still has not been doing a very good job of showcasing this game, of really communicating to us, the audience, what we can expect out of it in a way that will kind of continue to maintain the hype and won't be a boner killer. And number two, when Samus Aran is driving her bike around that desert, I was like, oh no, this looks as bad as like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet pre-Switch 2 patch. Like it did not, purely from a visual standpoint, we don't know what it's going to be like gameplay wise, but purely from a visual standpoint, I was like, this game looks really rough, which is disappointing for a game that in the past has been a like technical showcase on prior Nintendo platforms. And so, yeah, I'm very mixed. I think that this game still has the potential to, be really great. it's fantastic that we finally got a release date. The amiibos that they showed off for this game look really nice as well. I'm definitely going to pick all those up, despite them being egregiously priced. Man, do you remember when amiibos were like under $15? Those were the days. But I just feel like they have not been very effective at marketing this game. And it's unfortunate because Metroid Dread, which came out a couple of years ago, I thought was very effectively marketed. I felt like they were really on top of that game. And so I look at this game and I'm like, did your marketing team for the Metroid franchise just completely drop out over the past few years? Or is there something like seriously like unwell with this game behind the scenes? And you're, without intending to show your hand, you're kind of showing your hand by not showing off this game in a very great fashion. Earlier on, I know I've been talking a whole lot right here, but I just want to kind of make this final point. Taking the pin out from when we talked briefly about the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, not Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the Pokemon Legends ZA DLC. The reason why that DLC upset me is because like Nintendo is like so exuberantly like excited for Pokemon Legends ZA that they're like, we're going to talk about DLC for this game that's not even out yet. That is how much we care about this particular game, how excited we are for it, how much like we are really going to just shine a spotlight on this particular piece of media that's coming from one of our acclaimed studios. And this game, it's like, yeah, we'll show you like a 2-minute trailer. Not even that. You'll see Samus Aran riding around on a bike. The graphics are going to be terrible. Okay, goodbye. And it's like, come on, man. Show this franchise a little bit of love. Show it a little bit of love.
I'm
done.
Like strong. There's like 15% of me that feels like this is a Skull and Bones situation where like Nintendo feel like they are obligated to put it out somehow from some contract with some country that they borrowed money from, but they're just like, they took forever, they rebooted it, and they're not selling it. Like you mentioned, the trailers we've seen have not been really impressive, and it's just it feels like they're burying it, like Skull and Bones. No pun intended, because buried treasure, etc. But yeah, it feels like they're trying to just get it out the door and then never think about it again. And part of this is that they waited until now to give us a release date, even though this was a Switch 1 game. They also, as you mentioned, in addition to that, like we are getting a second Kirby Air Riders Direct after the first 45-minute one, and then now a second one, and nothing for Metroid Prime 4 so far. Just a couple of shitty trailers, and
man,
I feel like they're trying to bury this on purpose.
I mean, here's the thing. Trying to be as hopeful and as optimistic as we can currently be. Now that we know that this game is coming out all the way in December, that gives us with a good amount of time between now and then for Nintendo to drop a proper Metroid Direct, whatever it is that they might call it. Maybe Metroid Prime 4 Direct, maybe Metroid Prime Direct, whatever. Sorry, my mind is reeling right now because I get really just things short circuit when I talk about Metroid for too long. They can totally drop a Nintendo Direct between now and then, because there is a reasonable amount of time to do so. And maybe that Metroid Prime Direct can totally resolve all the issues that we're talking about it. But time is running out.
Well, Cozy, let's defibrillate your brain and talk about this final announcement. The last thing that ended the Direct was Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave will be released in 2026, which is, from discussions I've overheard, a follow-up to Three Houses. I don't know any of the Fire Emblem games or the timeline, but it feels like it's a follow-up to that, maybe?
Maybe. Full disclosure, I actually did not put this in the doc. I think this just ended up in the doc because it was like one of the main notes in the original article we got this stuff from.
Aha, you've been confused. I put it in the doc.
Oh shit. That's Adam, right, our strategy boy.
Adam wants to talk about Fire Emblem?
I'm just excited for Fire Emblem. Three Houses was... I think I liked 3 Switch 1 games, and Fire Emblem Three Houses was one of the 3. So this is cool. Looks neat. It's been a while since... I know there was that... I like when they do the more story-focused, like... Because I know there was one that came out a couple years ago where it was like, oh, we're going to pull... All the old people are coming if you put on a ring, and then they'll show up. I forgot what the name of that one is. Fire Emblem... Bullshit in the school.
Tree Houses.
No, Engage. Engage is the one I'm thinking about.
Engage.
But Three Houses... was the one that I really, really like. And this Fortune's Weave seems more of a Three Houses style game. I think it's just going to be good. I think it'll be cool. Again, Three Houses was very beloved and reviewed and did pretty well for Switch 1. So I'm hoping for this. I'm not going to be able to play it, quote unquote, since I don't have a Switch 2. But maybe a week before the game comes out, I will probably have beaten it. So it will be an interesting play.
I don't know. Ask Cozy's uncle. Tell him what processor you have, how many threads, and all that kind of stuff, and he'll let you know.
I'm just saying, a lot of Switch games we get 4K videos of a week before they come out, and it's like, how did that happen? The Switch one doesn't even do 4K. How are these videos out? Very excited. Very excited.
That's it for the Nintendo Direct. If we didn't talk about something that you were interested in, let us know in the comments. And if we talked about something that you didn't like the way we talked about it, don't tell us. That's it. That's the play of the game. Speaking of playing the game, playtime. We're talking about what we played this week. Let's start with Adam because I'm so curious about your empty space here.
Yeah, it's empty. It's just because it's things I've already talked about. Star Wars Outlaws. Marvel Rivals.
That's right. You're playing Outlaws. That's right.
Yeah. I'm much farther. I'm on Tatooine
Nintendo
now.
Switch 2 edition, right?
Yeah. Because I would want to waste my time and money on that. No, I'm just on the different planet, hanging out with Jabba the Hutt, Bib Fortuna, all those fucking idiots.
No Jabba, no Bada.
But no, that's just the game continues to be fun and a surprise, and I've enjoyed it. But yeah, I mean, we already talked about it last week with Joel, so nothing new, just more of that. And then I have a game. I will say this. I'm not going to say because I don't have the review done or anything. I'm reviewing a game for GameSandwich.com. And it might be one of the most difficult reviews or things I've had to think about because the game I think is like pretty bad. But I also think that it's trying to do something specific, but it doesn't mean that it's good. I'm just like, I don't know. I know what I want to write about this thing, but I don't know what I would score this. I'm like, I want to hate on it and be like, it's really, really bad. But like, it's not bad. It's just not good at what it's trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So I got to think. I'm thinking, I don't know. I got to write it first, but it feels like a hot ass 5 to me. And about 10 minutes in, I was like, oof, this is going to be a fun one. So, but yeah, that's in the future. I haven't even started writing it yet. So anyways.
A hot ass 5 is when you both pull your pants down and you jump and press butts together in the air.
Yeah. Now, this one would be like, this corpse is already on the ground and I'm going to hover my butt over it. But then there are other parts like, no, that's actually pretty cool. But anyways, yeah, there'll be a review coming for a mediocre ass video game. I'm like, is it Suicide Squad, the first one? The one with Will Smith, because that movie is that is a straight up, I have no positive or negative feelings. This is just a film that I looked at and then I never thought about again. That is a 5 out of 10 if I've ever seen one. And I'm like, is this video game the original Suicide Squad of video games? What are we doing here?
So, got great news, folks. Wario64 just tweeted Mario Galaxy 2 official soundtrack was just added to the Nintendo Music app.
Oh, there you go. That's fun.
That's good a slapping track. I'm going to talk next about what I've played, and then Cozy will we're going to overlap with one game that I'll lead into you. So we're going to start I played some P. It's Pokemon Emerald. I'm in the end game, hence the extra E on the end of P. I wanted to make sure that I beat Pokemon Emerald before Pizza came out, which is a month away. And let me tell you a couple of gripes that I've got with this game. One gripe that I have with this, I've already talked about the fact that like I can frequently get lost and not understand where to go next. But the second gripe that I have is this Elite Four is the difficulty from the rest of the game to then jumping up to the Elite Four is astounding because of the type of Pokemon that, well, one, the level of Pokemon is whatever. It's not like super over leveled from everything else, although it does get a little bit up there. But like I was comfortable through the entire game, able to take things out well, type match, all that kind of stuff. And then you get to the Elite Four and it's like, surprise, bitches. Everything is dragons and ice and and ghost type Pokemon, which are like 3 types that you come across very rarely in this entire game. So you haven't really built up any Pokemon to take on those types of people. That paired with the fact that there's a lot of water in the end game as well, a lot of water Pokemon in there that the electric type Pokemon to choose from in this game are not great.
Yeah,
you have like,
where's Pikachu?
Yeah,
he's in there. A Pikachu. I did catch a Pikachu. Yeah,
he's in the Safari Zone in this game.
So yeah, electric and grass, right? And so I've got my Breloom, which again is kicking ass, but Breloom doesn't learn any real grass moves outside of Mega Drain.
Yeah, you gotta TM him.
Yeah, and I haven't found any grass type TMs that are worth using at all. So I struggled a lot with those, but luckily, your boy went and caught a 70 Rayquaza at the top of the Sky Pillar.
Ooh, yeah.
Before the Elite Four. And so I had him in my party as just the like, if I need to bring him out, I will. Turns out he wiped the floor with like half of the Elite Four because of all that ice. And of course, ice is strong against dragon and dragon's strong against dragon. So he also had to be really fast, which surprised Rayquaza is really fast. So that he killed everything basically in one hit right off the bat every time. But yeah, I felt like the Elite Four was a little bit of a bait and switch, unfair because of just the type advantage that they all had. That and the ice types. Normally, ice types I wouldn't really have an issue with because I actually had 2 fighting type Pokemon. I had Breloom, which had some fighting stuff and was really strong, and I had Blaziken, who had some fighting type moves in there that were really strong. But they're fucking ice type. So ice kills your Breloom because it's grass type. And also, most of these ice type Pokemon also have water moves. So you bring out your Blaziken and fucking water takes them out before you have a chance to punch the ice to pieces.
Yeah,
and so
it's tough.
I feel like I was at a disadvantage. I feel like I was bamboozled.
As someone who's played Pokemon Emerald, many times, fought the Elite Four many times, it's interesting because like by the standards of other Pokemon games, I would actually contend that the Elite Four in Emerald is on the easier side by virtue of the fact that level-wise, their teams like are not super high up there. Like when you first begin battling them, their Pokemon are in the 40s, which is like not compared to other Pokemon Elite Four games, not very high, like based on my prior memory. What I will say though, and this is something that's not unique to Pokemon Emerald, this is an issue that some of the other older Pokemon games have as well. Pokemon Emerald, not very good at providing you with a lot of good end game grinding spots. You have Victory Road, which is the cave that you travel to get to the Elite Four, and you have a bunch of strong trainers in there that you can battle. Problem is that those particular trainers you can typically only battle once. Yeah. You're not given many opportunities to refight them. There are other trainers throughout the world that you can go and rematch, but there's not like a really good area when you're at the Elite Four to go like, all right, I just need to grind up a little bit more, get my team a little bit more powerful. This is the spot. And that's something that I feel like subsequent Pokemon games went in, and improved upon.
Most of the Victory Road, like rando enemies are around level 40. And for reference, like the Elite Four gets up to like, I think like 54, 55, something like that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think the highest level rando Pokemon that I ran into, occasionally I'd run into a 44 in that Victory Road. And so that, and it's like 3 Pokemon total in that Victory Road is Golbat, Lyron, and something else.
Lairon.
Yeah. So if you don't have, like, if your type match does not do well against those, good luck leveling up that bitch. Whew.
I like, Chad, I don't know if you're with me on this. Lairon, does he not kind of look like the fast travel guy in Hollow Knight Silksong?
Yeah, it does a little bit.
He kind of looks like him.
Cute little.
He kind of does.
Citadel Beast, or what was it? No, Bell Beast. Yeah, Bell Beast.
Yeah, Bell Beast.
Yeah,
I think that's him.
But some good things about Pokemon Emerald. I think it's funny to watch these epic moments in these Game Boy games. Like looking back on them and how epic they're supposed to be. Like I guess last year I got done playing Pokemon Black and White, and I remember being so surprised at the final battle in that game and like how epic it looked and the camera angles and the Pokemon fighting. Like that was a Nintendo DS game, so not like a huge generational leap, but it was in 3D. But then to go and like the whole game of Pokemon Emerald, they've been talking about, oh my gosh, these 2 guardians, the Kyogre and Groudon, and they're angry, and then you go to this town to see them fighting, and that's the whole the storms everywhere, and the world's gonna flood, and everyone's gonna die, and it's just those 2 sprites just like wiggling in an ocean back and forth. And then they're like, you need the Sky Pokemon, and you've been hearing the legend of this green Pokemon in the sky that apparently is incredibly strong and will help come and calm them down. And you go find Rayquaza at the top of this tower. It says, cool, flies up in the air. And then you go back and it just like slowly comes down in between those two wiggling sprites and just says, shut up, and then flies away. And it's over. It's just like I know that's like we're dealing with the limitations of what you can do on the Game Boy Advance, but it's just like such an anticlimactic moment to see that, where he just like slowly lowers down to the middle of the screen, roars, and then slowly goes back up. It's very
Man, let me
me
tell you, back in the day in 2005, I was watching it and I was like, this is cinema. This is so incredibly epic. It did the trick back in 2005.
Cozy, can you tell me, I assumed this would be the version that we see it in. Where are Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon from? Because it doesn't seem like it's this game.
Primal Kyogre, Primal Groudon, and also by extension Mega Rayquaza were only introduced in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Oh,
because the whole idea was they introduced Mega Pokemon in X and Y, and then they did the remakes of Ruby and Sapphire, and then they were like, well, we need to introduce more Mega Pokemon in this game. And for Groudon and Kyogre, they were like, we're going to introduce primal versions of these Pokemon, which are effectively Mega versions of them in all but name. That's where they came from.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am excited to explore the end game of this thing. I like that they're already teasing a couple of things like the Regirock, Regice, and Registeel, I think, are the three in this one.
Definitely look up a guide on how to unlock those, by the way, because it's very difficult.
Yeah, because that's impossible unless you are fluent in Braille and also know a bunch of like random
true story
things that you have to do. I'm bummed at the fact that Regigigas apparently was only like an event exclusive. Like you had to like have some kind of card reader thing. And
Regigigas is only in Gen 4.
Oh, is it Gen 4? Oh, yeah. That's what it was. So in Gen 4, you have to have the card reader, but you also have to have the 3 Gigas from the Gen 3 traded to that game. Right. And then, that's what it was. Okay. I'm excited to explore the post game. Go catch myself a little Kyogre and a little Groudon. I went around for a while trying to figure out how I could get those guys before the Elite Four, and then I found out, oh no, that's a post game thing. I was like, cool. So I played P. Having a good time with it. Almost done. Borderlands 4, babies. Ooh. I did not plan on playing this game this weekend. I am a person who loves Borderlands. I think it's a fun time, but I don't love playing it solo. I think it is a much less fun time solo. And I didn't know anyone that was getting it. And then Joel was like, my friend that I game share with is getting it, so I'll have it, and I might play some this weekend. And then out of nowhere, Audrey and Jarek are like, we're loving Borderlands 4. And I was like, fucking what? Everybody's playing this game and nobody told anyone? So we basically played every night this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think we played every single night. This game's funny. This game's funny as shit. It's like the gameplay itself is cool, whatever. My Vault Hunter, I'm playing the guy with the exosuit, and like arc slashing people, and like I'm having a fun time. That's cool. But I just love listening to all of the dialogue that's going on. Like Joel went in my game and he's like, hey, I'm gonna go complete this side quest while you do whatever you're doing over there. And so I just got to listen to all the dialogue of the side quest without actually seeing what's going on, and just seeing, and like this guy's like, you got to go over there and get yourself some Geyser Nuggets, which is not to be confused with Guys or Nuggets, which is this other store over there. And this person is like, it's just so funny. All the dialogue is so funny. It's a fun time. Didn't expect to play it this weekend, but I played probably now, I don't know, 10, 12 hours of it. It's a good time. RR, Rita Rabbit? What is RR? I don't know.
Rita Repulsa.
Rita's Rewind. Yes.
Oh, was it actually Rita's Rewind?
Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. We talked last week about how there were clues that maybe the multiplayer was there. Turns out fucking nope. Fucking Digital Eclipse, you lying motherfucking whores. Matt and I signed on Gears of Wednesday, on actual Wednesday this time. And we were like, all right, let's try it. Let's try Rita's Rewind. It is such a blast. It's a fun time. It's, classic beat 'em up. You can play locally with up to 6 people, but you can only play online with 2 people because they're stupid. And they promised that there would be a 6-person online update in the spring, and it is now almost the fall. Legally, in 6 days it will legally be fall, and it's still not there, and no word. And the physical edition was supposed to have that baked into the physical disc, which was supposed to come out at the end of May, and I guess it's out, but it's a lie too. So Digital Eclipse fucking suck my balls. But this game, fun as hell. We played for probably 2 hours, and it's a mix of so many different gameplay types, because it's kind of based around, I guess, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 different classic Power Rangers villains. And there's like the going through the levels, beat 'em up style, like old school, Turtles and Power Rangers, like beat 'em up style game that's fun to do. And then you find the villain, and then there's usually some kind of like first person, you're part of a Megazord, or maybe you're on a bike, like on your dinosaur bike, and you're going and you're like shooting first person style, almost like an arcade shooter. And so it changes perspective that way. So that's like another level after that once you've found the boss. And then there's actually like the final fight with the giant version of the boss, which is you are in the Megazord and you are taking turns approaching the boss and punching him, and then you charge up this sword and you blast him away. And it's such a fun time, and it looks so good, and the music is fantastic. And so I think we're on stage 9 of 12, so I think we're almost done with the game, and still waiting to find Green Ranger. Still waiting to find that Green Ranger in here.
Trying to see where Tommy's at?
Yeah, ain't got no Tommy so far. But Tommy. It is Rita Repulsa, and we all know, canonically, Rita Repulsa is the one that makes the Green Ranger, and it's a bad guy. So we gotta go kill the bad guy. So maybe that'll show up in this one too. Who knows? So I'm excited. The game's fun. And then finally, Silksong. Getting silky with it, baby.
Song.
I fucking love this fucking game. It's so good. I'm thinking about it constantly. I played a little bit while I was supposed to be working today. Audrey and I are doing that same thing we do with Claire Obscure, where we're texting nonstop now because we're both playing at the same time, and she's a little ahead of where I am now. I was like, oh, did you get at this spot? Oh my God, this thing just kidnapped me. No way. Oh my God, did you get here? I'm having a blast. One of my complaints last time, actually, I don't know if I complained verbally or whether I just complained in my own brain, but it's a little tough to get used to Hornet's down sideways move. But there's a new mechanic that I've discovered since last week, that there are different crests that you can acquire throughout the game that change up your gameplay style. So it's basically like the stances in like a Ghost of Yotei or a Ghost of Tsushima is kind of a good way to think about it. It's like a different fighting style, but they also come with different a couple of different ways that like you use your moves and different abilities. Like the one of them that I got is instead of your normal press circle to heal yourself for 3 masks, it's press circle to go into a beast mode where you vampirically scratch your health back from enemies. And also you can equip tools in that one a lot more, but not some of the other types of things. So it turns out there's a lot of different crests, and one of them has a regular traditional down slash, just like Hollow Knight. Cannot wait to put that on my character. I'm exploring a lot. No, I don't have it yet.
Oh man.
I know where it is, but there is a particular item that you need to save up a lot of money to buy, and that will grant you access to it. And I saved up a lot of money, and I bought that item, and I took it to a different place and got a different item before I learned that I could have used that item in a different place. So now I've got to go find another expensive item that somewhere in the game that I'll eventually come across to go back and get that. So yeah, I'm pumped. I'm having a blast with this one. I also learned, so the beginning of the game either is getting or has already gotten a little bit of a nerf on some of the bosses to make them a little bit less punishing for people right off the bat. And apparently, I just learned the one people are struggling on, I never even came across. Because
I'm trying to, is it like the one, the problem is that I can't even in my mind's eye, like fully picture him, but I think I know which one you're talking about.
It's in Greymore.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
The thing is, apparently that's where most people, you get to Greymore, you encounter it, and it fucks your day up. There's also a side quest of like, hey, help this caravan of people collect all their fleas. And if you do that, then the caravan, that's my introduction to Greymore was I collected all the fleas and the people are like, great, we're moving on up towards the Citadel. You want to come with us? And I say, yes. And they transport me up there with them. And apparently when they transport up there, the boss no longer is there and it moves on to its next location there's going to be. So I have completely missed that boss. Yeah. I will fight it again, I'm sure. But yeah, that whole first encounter, I didn't even know was a thing because I entered Greymore in a way that apparently most people don't enter Greymore. But I'm having a blast. It's so much fun. It's so punishing. It's great. I love it. Papa John's. Cozy, tell me about your time with Silksong.
Ah, man. So here's the thing. To talk about the time that I've been having in Silksong, we need to talk a little bit about my weekend last weekend. So last weekend, I took a trip to do a big ol' 89.5 kilometer bike course around Mont-Orfort, which is a mountain/ski resort near the town of Magog in the eastern townships of Quebec. For those at home who suck at geography, basically you got Montreal here, that's sort of like in the like south area of Quebec, and then you go south and east of Montreal, close to the border of Vermont, and you got the eastern townships and around where Magog is located. Here's the thing. Ahead of the trip, it was like, Magog, kind of a long trek from Montreal, but in between Montreal and Magog, we got this cottage where we say Monet instead of money, and we enjoy our DVD collection. And so we're like, all right, the way this is going to work is real simple. The day before, I'm going to drive over to the cottage. I'll spend the night there. Following day, I'll, go an extra hour or so to get to Magog, and I'll be off to the races in this bike course. So ahead of the trip, my dad's like, yo, this is, a pretty exciting thing you got coming up. And so I made a point of taking the 2008 Subaru Outback to the garage, getting it tuned up, making sure that there are no issues ahead of your trip this coming weekend. And I was like, thank you so much, Dad. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. So Friday, September 5th, I drive in the afternoon to the cottage. No issue. Park the car there, unload stuff, hang out, chill, play Silksong for the first time, have just a good swallowed time.
You playing it on the Nintendo Switch 2 at 120 frames per second?
On the Nintendo Switch 2 at 120 frames per second, indeed. Nice. Saturday, September 6th. Wake up, and immediately I'm like, it's a lot more overcast than I was expecting it to be today. The weather forecast seemed to indicate that it might be a little bit on the cloudy side, but there might only be like a few scattered showers at like 3 or 4 p.m. Nothing super duper to be concerned about, but whatever. I'll brace to the weather no matter what it throws at me. It's not going to be super cold either way. Pack up the bikes into the car, start heading to Mont-Orfort, to the area near Magog. And on the highway, about 10 minutes before I arrive, the car starts making a sound. The text that I sent to Joel for last week's episode is it very much sounded like a helicopter taking off, which, as far as I can tell, not a sound that cars are supposed to make because cars are not helicopters. And it's like, this isn't very good. So I arrive at the course. I arrive pretty late, and so I just decide, you know what? I'm just going to park the car and I'll just deal with this as I go. So start heading around the course. It's real rainy and not especially cold, but it is decently cold. The cold factor of it wasn't the biggest issue in the world because when you're biking that intensely for that long of a period of time, like your body naturally heats up and insulates you from the cold. Still not very ideal. At one of the rest stops, I speak with the family and we're like, this isn't that great. Whatever. You can just focus on the bike course for now and we can deal with it afterwards. I'm like, okay, great. Continue with the bike course, and the rain does not relent whatsoever. It just continues to get rainier and muddier and just more intense the further I go. Again, it still remains not incredibly cold, but like at a cool enough like temperature level that it's never perfectly comfortable. And so the entire time I'm going through just like the muddiest, hilliest bike ride of all time, because again, it's located around a mountain, very hilly. And it's like, in any other situation, I would be like, man, this is really tough. But at least at the end of this, I know I'll be able to drive back to the cottage and enjoy just like a safe, insane night playing more Hollow Knight Silksong to myself. But instead, it's like I have to complete this incredibly difficult thing in the rain. And then my reward at the end of this is I have to figure out what the hell is wrong with my car. So finish the bike course after like 6 hours of intense biking. Get in the car. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to drive like 5 minutes to a local like grocery store, see if the issue's still there. Drive 5 minutes, issue is still there. I'm like, okay, great. We got to actually resolve this. So we convene with the family, and it's like, Alex, you're a CAA membership, CAA being the Canadian Automobile Association, which is a company that provides roadside assistance, automobile insurance, other kinds of car help. You have within your membership the opportunity to do like up to 4 like tow trucks operations for like the current period. And it's like what you could do, because you still have a lot of stuff at the cottage, is you could tow the car to the cottage, and then like after you gather up your stuff, maybe the following day you can take the tow truck back to Montreal. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's probably the solution. So call tow truck driver number 1. So I want to preface this by saying I don't know if this actually happened. But
he was unconscious the whole time. Who knows if any of this is real?
So like one of the things that I wanted the tow truck driver to do is I was like, hey, could you like just drive the car around the block? You're clearly more knowledgeable of cars than me. Could you just like drive it around once and tell me, is this sound issue like, is it a serious issue, or is it like a bad sounding but ultimately superficial issue? Because if I can not have to rely on having my car towed around, I would prefer to do that, even if the sound is, a little uncomfortable to hear. And thing about a place like Magog, and this is true of a lot of Quebec, is like, it's primarily Francophone. People mostly speak French and not a lot of English. And I asked him this question, hey, do you think you could figure out what the issue is with the car? Do you think you could drive it around? And he kind of ignored me in a way where I was like, I bet he fully understood what I was asking of him, but he's playing it off like he didn't understand what I'm saying because he's Francophone. I don't actually know if that actually happened, but in the moment I was like, Anyways, so I end up towing the car back to the cottage. I just completely undress, do my best to relax with Silksong, but it's definitely not the triumphant end to the day that I was hoping it would be.
Playing my Silksong naked at the cottage with my money and my DVDs.
I had boxers on. I had boxers and like a clean shirt. It was fine. Sunday, September 7th, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to hang out at the cottage for an extra day. The original plan was that I would spend at least one full day here. So I'm like, I'm just going to do that. Monday, September 8th, I call the CAA and I'm like, hey, it's time to tow the truck back to Montreal. And they're like, cool. For your specific location, the wait time is like 75 minutes until the tow trucker will get back to you. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sounds fine. And eventually, like, I call them at around like noon. It takes the tow truck driver like another like 2.5 hours to get back to me. Gets back to me and is like, yeah, I don't really want to tow you back to Montreal. It's too late in the day. There's going to be a lot of traffic. Can we do it super duper early tomorrow morning? If we do it super duper early tomorrow morning, it'll be a lot faster. And I'm like, I mean, respawning fire has, already been moved to the following day. So I don't have any reason that I have to be back in, at home at Montreal tonight. So yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And so the following morning at the ass crack of dawn at like 6:55, even though I told him 7:30, he arrives at the cottage. We pack up. Yeah, we tow the car back to Montreal.
In your boxers, switch in hand. You're like, what are you doing here? I told you 7.
It was annoying, but we got back home pretty early. It still ended up taking a while because traffic was still kind of congested, which is unfortunate. And in the end, after towing the car all the way back home to Montreal and eventually getting it to the garage, it turns out that before the trip, when my dad brought the car to the garage to have it tuned up, the people that were tuning up the car basically like configured things incorrectly when they like fixed a certain thing, and that thing that they configured incorrectly was responsible for the noise in question. And so had they not done that tune up ahead of the trip, I wouldn't have this whole
Damn.
adventure that I had to deal with.
Was it dangerous though?
And
Like, was it, or was it like, oh, we left a wrench in the engine?
I didn't really get much more kind of insight than that. The impression, like, I would suspect that at the end of the day, it was largely superficial, but like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's a 2008 Subaru Outback. You don't really want to play around too much with a car that is,
Yeah, that's a
taking on
classic.
its ears like this.
It's tough to get parts for nowadays.
Yeah, it is. So that was my crazy cottage Subaru Outback 2008 adventure. Silksong. We want to talk about Silksong, don't we? I am really enjoying Silksong. I had a lot of fun playing it at the cottage, and I've had fun playing it since then. I am not as high on this game as I think the rest of the world is right now. It's tough because, like, when I originally started playing the original Hollow Knight, I was like, I really love how nonlinear this game is. And I also appreciate the kind of like overall level of difficulty of it, like right off the bat. But I'm not really kind of acclimatized to the kind of ins and outs of how this game feels, the kind of design language of this game. I'm not fully kind of attuned to it yet, and that's interfering in my ability to really kind of appreciate and enjoy it. Silksong, it's sort of the inverse, where like I'm really attuned with sort of the overall kind of like design language of this game. Right off the bat, I feel like I kind of took to it really quickly and easily in a way that I didn't with the original Hollow Knight. But conversely, I find it at times to be perhaps a little bit easier than I wish it was. The bosses, like, make no mistake, the bosses of Hollow Knight Silksong will kick your ass. A couple of days ago, finished the fight with, what was it, the Splinter sister at the end of that one force area. Yeah. That was a good ass challenge. So this game really? Has its.
I beat her my second try. Bitch is dead.
I wasn't stuck on her for too long. Anyways, this game has, plenty of challenging moments that I thoroughly enjoyed, but I feel like the kind of minute to minute kind of play of this game is not perhaps quite on the same level as what I wanted out of it coming off of the original Hollow Knight. And also, and I really want to preface this by saying I'm not out of Act 1. I still haven't beaten the boss that it's the top of the blasted steps, haven't taken care of that particular individual just yet. Am finding the game so far to be perhaps a little bit more linear than I would have expected. It really does feel like Team Sherry took a lot of kind of criticism that people had of the original Hollow Knight to heart and made Silksong like a little bit more direct in terms of the path that you have to take to kind of complete its narrative. And I totally respect that. But especially, again, during these opening hours of the game, I'm like, kind of wish there was a little bit more non-linearity to this experience. But that aside, the game is a lot of fun. The level design is consistently impeccable. Boss design, great. Bosses also, again, consistently pretty challenging. They provide that good challenge that I want out of a game like this. Excited to keep playing, but I think this is definitely a game that I will continue to play over an extended period of time, that I will really marinate over. And I'm excited to kind of like keep my thoughts close to the chest until I'm done with this game, because I can definitely see my thoughts growing and evolving and changing a lot the further I log more and more hours into this one. And that is my thoughts so far.
Growing and evolving and changing, like a $30 Mega Right UI or a $30 Mega Right UX coming on October 16th to Pokemon Pizza.
Hell yeah.
You have one more game here, Cozy.
Yes. I don't have too much to say about this. So I have this one secret Discord where, I've played a lot of games with this one particular friend group over time. And kind of accidentally, we've kind of grown into being the friend swap server, in that we've played Repo, we've played Lethal Company, we've played all these games where it's like a bunch of dudes just banging around in an environment and climbing on things and collecting money and eating cacti and, all the sorts of things that you do in friend swap games. And I historically have not really talked about a lot of these games on the show, because I don't invest enough time into them that I really end up having like super hard thoughts on them. But nevertheless, we played Peak this past weekend, and I was actually very surprised, like very pleasantly surprised by how, I guess, polished this game was compared to some of the other games that I just listed. I think Aggro Crab made something really cool and special that I was just dog shit terrible at. Like we, thankfully, the party of people that I played with very much had the experienced Sherpa that was there to kind of guide us through peak and take us to the peaks, no pun intended. And I'm really glad they were there because I would have had extreme difficulty without their help. Definitely can see myself playing this one again, but not rushing back to it either. But just wanted to shout that out. Peak, pretty polished, pretty interesting game that I had a fun time with playing with friends.
Love it. Love it. Well, that's it for playtime, and that brings us into our segment from Adam.
Ooh.
Segment from Adam. Segment from Adam Gumbert. Segment from Adam. That's it. You said Bid Fortuna about 45 minutes ago, and I've been thinking of the song Oh Fortuna, which is that one. For 45 minutes. Yeah.
It's my second favorite song besides Ave Maria. Segment from Adam this week it's a very simple one. I'm calling it... I don't have a name for it. The idea of this game is, so throughout the year, we play a bit of a game. It's the award is Best Gamer of the Year award, as everyone knows. We make predictions. We'll, guess game awards winners. We'll, try to guess what happens during directs or stuff like that. So what I've decided to do for this one, it's a bit of a fantasy critic shorty. It's a little cutie.
Well, short and watching shorties.
So what we're gonna do is all three of us, we're gonna draft 3 games that have yet to come out for the rest of the year. Basically, we're saying we're gonna try to guess what are the best games for the end of the year, and based on the Metacritic score, I'll tally them up. And we'll figure out who wins this, and the winner of this gets an extra point for overall Best Gamer of the Year award show. So we have 3, and you can draft it in any order, but you only get 1 from each of these categories. 1 category, a game published by one of the big 3. So a game published by Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft. One of them has to be a third-party publisher. So a game from EA, Ubisoft, yada yada. The other ones that aren't the other guys. And 1 game has to be an indie. You can do it in any order you want. I've put the Game Informer article that has every game coming out for the rest of the year. So it's only from September 15th, the day we're recording this, till December 31st. A game that releases between now and then we try to just draft a little quick fantasy critic thing, and then I will keep track of it. Just because we had so many directs and so many shows and Gamescom, and we basically know what the rest of the year looks like. So it's like, okay, with that information, what can we do? So who wants to go first? It's going to be Snake.
I have a mechanics question. Mm-hmm. Where does Dave the Diver fall on one of those 3?
Dave the Diver would fall into a third-party game.
But it won Best Indie, didn't it? Or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, people also say The Martian's a comedy, but,
Okay.
That's how it goes. But yeah, just whatever's coming out for the rest of the year. Again, in any order you want to. It's a snake draft, so who wants to go first, second, and third? I do not care.
Chad, I nominate you to go first because my throat is still a little dry.
Chad, do you want to go first or second? Because I can go first or second. I don't really care.
You go first, Adam, while I'm still scrolling through this list a little bit.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah, I have that list provided for you. It's going to be very easy for me. September 25th, baby, 10 days. It's coming out. Hades 2. Give me Hades 2 as my first pick. That will be my 1 indie game pick. And that's the first pick of the draft because I'm not fucking around. I need them points. Chad, you would be next. Again, we need 1 from the big 3, 1 from a third-party publisher, and 1 indie game.
Yeah, we'll go with another game that I hated because it went up against one of my favorite games of all time, similar to Hades, but now we're going to do Ghost of Yotei. Because everyone's like, oh, Ghost of Tsushima is much better than Last of Us Part 2. And it's like, you shut the fuck up. Or God of War, whatever it was against.
Yotei is your first game. Very good. That covers your 1 from the big 3 publishers or platform holders. Cozy, your first. You have 2 picks in a row here, but remember 1 from each of those categories.
It's not particularly a game. I mean, it's unlikely I'm ever going to play this, but I'm going to go with Battlefield 6. People really seem to like that game.
Okay.
I think it's got good prospects to it.
BF6, that is your third-party publisher game.
Yes.
Again, so we need 1 from the big 3 and 1 indie game coming up still.
I have a a demonic choice that I could choose for the indie game thing, but no, you know what? No. We're not going to do that. I was about to say, I was about to go full freak mode and nominate Moonlighter 2, despite having disliked the first one. But instead, I'm going to go with...
That game's not coming out until 2026. They already said that. So, but if you would like to go ahead
really?
and...
Is it an early access thing?
Yeah, it doesn't go full 1.0 until next year.
Instead, I'm going to go with Mina the Hollower, which is coming out on October 31st.
Mina the Hollower. That's a good indie game. Should be good. Yacht Club's follow-up.
I'm going to go for my indie game, a game that already has won a bunch of awards, called Consume Me, coming out on September 25th.
Very good. So not out yet, but it will be on the September 25th, huh? But they don't want to move that date. Yeah. All right. So I get my last two here in a row, and I need the best review scores. Oof. Do I trust... Here's the thing. I can speak freely because I'm the last one going. Metroid, obviously. No, because you went second. I went first. So I get two in a row, and then you have one more. Well, I'm saying I can speak freely because if you pick it, no one can take it from me, is what I'm saying. So I can speak freely. Yeah. Metroid Prime 4 is there. But I'm just like, I don't know how well it's going to review. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could do fine. We already said
it looks like garbage doo-doo and no one's going to play it.
It doesn't look as good as I think.
I mean, the conversation was more nuanced than that, but it's definitely... Here's the thing.
Garbage doo-doo, I think, was correct.
I'm letting you know, Adam, I will not be choosing Metroid Prime 4 for my first-party choice.
Why wouldn't you? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Outer Worlds 2 is one of the big three publishers.
There we go.
Reviews or previews seem pretty good. I like Obsidian. I will give them. So I need to get one from a third-party studio now. Oh, are there any Ubisoft, any EA games, anything good?
I see Snoopy and the Great Mystery Club.
I actually need to double check it because I think... Damn it, publisher's Xbox. Never mind. I had a game that I was going to do, but I'm not able to do it. Chad, what are you thinking?
I'm not going to tell you.
I know. I don't want to waste time is the thing. I'm not counting like Switch 2 ports of stuff, which is like going through this list is a lot of that stuff. We're like, oh, it's finally coming out here. I'm just going to say that one. You know what? Give me Digimon Storytime Stranger.
Hey.
Wow.
I think who is the publisher for this? That's a Bandai Namco, so that counts.
That got good previews. People like that one.
Yeah, the people who like Digimon games seem to review Digimon games, so I'm going to do that. Yeah, Digimon Storytime Stranger is my final pick. Chad, you have to pick a third-party publisher because you have an indie.
My third-party publishing game is a remake published by Square Enix. No, it is not Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. It is instead Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, or Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles. That one.
Tactics.
Ivalice Chronicles.
Final Fantasy Tactics: Ivalice Chronicles.
Is it a remake? Is it a re-release? Is it a remaster? Who knows? Doesn't matter to our game. All right, Cozy, your final one needs to be a first-party published. So Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo.
Chad, what was your first-party game?
Ghost of Yotei.
I am going to go... See, I feel like I'm going to call this right now. This game isn't going to get overwhelmingly glowing reviews, but it will be remembered. It will be remembered as a great game after the fact.
That doesn't help you winning the contest.
I'm going to go with Kirby Air Riders.
Air Riders, I think it'll review fine.
Yeah, that's the thing is I think that people are going to be like, this doesn't... Like, Kirby Air Riders and, Kirby Air Ride, the game that this is based on, like, does not play how you expect it to play. There's going to be a collective kind of, like, general consensus of, like, it's a little off, it's a little weird, and then people will, over time... come to realize, oh wait, this game is actually really great.
But that doesn't help the review scores. Just saying, in the game where we need good reviews. Well, listen, I ain't gonna argue.
But
You
I would
want hot
have
sevens?
chosen.
Go for it, buddy.
I would have chosen Ghost of Yotei, and I said I wasn't going to choose Metroid Prime 4, so it's going to be Kirby.
What I really wanted to take, and I wasn't able to because it's technically an Xbox Game Studios game, would be Ninja Gaiden 4. But I already had mine. So, anyways, our last, again, by the end of the year, we'll take our Metacritic scores and see who has the best team for the end of the year. Chad has Ghost of Yotei from PlayStation, Consume Me, and Final Fantasy Tactics, whatever that subtitle was. Cozy has Battlefield 6, Mina the Hollower, Kirby Air Riders, and I have Hades 2, Outer Worlds 2, and Digimon Storytime Strangers. We will see who has drafted the best short-term team for Gamer of the Year.
Do you just want to pick some random ones for Joel?
Yeah, listen, here's the thing. If you're not here, you can't play. I don't know what to tell you, but
Nah, damn.
I had this planned already, so it is
What about Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 1 Re-Raptured?
That would count as an indie game. He could try it.
There you go.
I'll see if he remembers. Next week, Joel, you can draft your 3 games right in a row. Take whatever you want. That's it.
That's it for segment from Adam. That brings us to Game on Game Show. The Game on our Game Show play a game called Game on the Game Show on our Game Show. Game. Take it away, Cozy.
Thank you, Chad. Today, we are returning once again to Console on a Roll to talk about the Nintendo 64. The Nintendo 64 first released on June 23rd, 1996 in Japan, and on September 29th, 1996 in North America. Rules as usual, I will read off 4 clues per game on the list. Everyone has 2 guesses per game. The fewer clues have been revealed, the more points you can receive. And remember that each contestant has a lock that they can declare once per game. Don't forget that you can use it, Chad, because you could have potentially won the VR thing we did last time had Adam not stolen your thunder from under you.
I don't know. I think I didn't answer a single one of those right. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think Adam won that one overall. All right, let's get right into this. Number 10. The 10th best-selling game on the Nintendo 64 in North America, per the NPD Group / Circana, was developed by HAL Laboratory.
Super Smash Brothers.
It is not Super Smash Brothers.
Ooh.
Clue number 2. It was one of the first console-based spin-offs of a popular franchise. Clue number 3. It takes primarily from a first-person perspective. And clue number 4, the protagonist of this game is named Todd Snap.
Pokemon Snap?
It is Pokemon Snap. You guys said it about as close together as you possibly could be, so I will both give you a point.
1 point, Chad. Todd Snap.
Hot. Todd Snap.
Stupid ass name.
Yeah, he was briefly in the anime as well. He
My name is
together
Ash
with
Pokemon Catcher.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
He
his name is
journeyed
Ketchum.
alongside Ash and company for a little while. Number 9. The 9th best-selling game on the Nintendo 64 in North America, per the NPD Group / Circana, was one of the first games to require the Nintendo 64 expansion pack.
Donkey Kong 64.
It is Donkey Kong 64. That means 4 points for you, Adam. Good job.
I know, that's the only game that I knew that required it.
I did too, but I didn't think that it possibly could have sold that well.
Hit number 9. Well, kids are stupid.
Donkey Kong 64. That was a big selling game. It was like the best selling game of like the year 2000 from back when we did TMI with NPD. All right, here we go. Number 8. The 8th best selling game on the Nintendo 64 in North America, per the NPD Group / Circana, is the second installment in its franchise, but it's not a sequel.
Star Fox 64.
That is correct. It is Star Fox 64.
Good one, Chad.
That is 4 points for you, Chad. Tied up.
That's right, because technically the SNES one never came out. Or wait, what was the one that they put on the little mini
Star
console
Fox
that
2.
never came out?
It didn't come out,
Right,
but then they put it on the SNES Classic.
So you had Star Fox on the SNES, Star Fox 2, which is a sequel to Star Fox. Star Fox 64 is a reimagining / remake of the original Star Fox, hence it being the second installment, but not a sequel.
Remember when they put Star Fox 2 on the SNES Mini and everyone's like, oh yeah, this game was bad. They should not have released this.
The whole thing with that game, it was like, they had like fully 3D environments, but this is not, it was the Super Nintendo. And so like very technically impressive for its time, but like definitely like biting off way more than it could chew. All right, let's move on to number 7. The 7th best-selling game on the Nintendo 64 in North America, per the NPD Group / Circana, is about a group of friends uniting to defeat an intergalactic wizard called Wizpig.
Oh, I feel like I should know this.
Clue number 2. It was remade for the original DS in 2007. Clue number 3. It features airplanes and
Pilot
hovercrafts. It is not Pilot Wings.
Diddy Kong Racing.
It is Diddy Kong Racing. That is 2 points for you, Chad.
Oh, there's a story in that, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, that was the
There
whole
is.
thing. The overworld, exploring all that shit on your little hovercraft. I can't wait for the fucking stupid ass analog 3D to come out. Let me play that
Yeah,
game again.
it was the introduction of Conker before they made him just like
And
a really
Banjo.
crass R-rated, and Banjo. Number 6. The 6th best-selling game on the Nintendo 64 in North America, per the NPD Group / Circana, is the first entry in a popular franchise.
Super Smash Brothers.
It is Super Smash Brothers. 4 points for you.
Nice.
Fucking stupid.
This might be, of any entry in TMI with NPD or Console Honor Roll that we've ever done, this might be the one where the two of you are most on it. Like, the two of you are neck and neck like never before.
Because we were actually
We're
alive
necking.
and cognitive during this time, you
That's
know?
true. That's true.
Pretty much. All right, here we go. Number 5. The 5th best-selling game on the Nintendo 64 in North America, per the NPD Group / Circana, is, bizarrely, categorized by Wikipedia as a turn-based strategy game. Clue number 2. It is another spin-off of a popular franchise. Clue number 3. It was the first game to make use of the Nintendo 64 transfer pack.
Pokemon Stadium.
It is the
Yeah,
original
yeah.
Pokemon Stadium.
How many points was that?
That is 2 points for Chad.
Tied. We're necking. We're
They said
necking,
turn-based
baby.
strategy game? I mean, I guess there's turn-based.
It's one of those things where, like, I understand why they might arrive at that exact definition, but it's wrong.
Turn-based RPG is what I would say, but you know.
Yeah. Clue number 4, or rather entry number 4, because it's not a clue. There are clues that I will get into here, but it is entry number 4.
Clue number 4, entry
Before
number
I get
1.
into the clues. Clue number 1. The 4th best-selling game on the Nintendo 64 in North America, per the NPD Group / Circana, was the first entry in its franchise to feature 3D graphics.
Ocarina of Time?
It is Ocarina of Time.
Oh, damn.
Congratulations. 4 points.
Ooh-wee.
Man, this game's just 4 4s all the way around.
Well, working hard.
And here we go. Number
Hardly
3.
working.
The 3rd best-selling game
Chatbot.
on the Nintendo 64 in North America, per the NPD Group / Circana, is the 2nd installment in its franchise. Hold on a sec. Did I miswrite this? Is the 2nd installment? I see. I wrote in its franchise, but rather what I should have written was in a franchise. Is the 2nd installment in a franchise we last saw on the Super Nintendo list. Clue number 2. It features a mix of both single-player and local multiplayer modes. Clue number 3. It features an unlockable mirror mode. And clue
Mario
number 4.
Kart 64.
I will give you 2 points for that.
All right. I was like, yeah, it's definitely Mario Kart with that mirror stuff.
And here we go. Number 2.
Adam Lock.
Here we go. The 2nd best-selling game on the Nintendo 64 in North America, per the NPD Group / Circana, won the Best Computer Game category at the 1998 BAFTA Interactive Entertainment Awards.
Ooh, the BAFTAs. Let me remember all of those winners. You can give me the
That
next
is
one.
actually, if you're thinking with your brain, Adam, that is actually a big clue.
I have an idea of the developer, and I just have to figure out which game it is.
Clue number 2. It was developed by a studio that has already been featured on this list.
Yes, I knew that. I gotta figure out which game it is.
Clue number 3, the player character in this game has both a health bar and an armor bar.
Stop giving me clues. It's obviously 1 or 2. I will go ahead and I'll say GoldenEye.
It is GoldenEye. That is 2 points.
I didn't want to chance it with the other multiplayer shooter game that they had. So I was like, I know it's a rare game, but I just can't figure out which one. But I have 2 points. All right, there we go.
And finally, number 1.
Pokemon
the
Stadium
number
2.
1.
Super Mario 64.
Oh, shit.
Wait, Chad,
Fucking
did you...
Of course it was. Fucking of course it was. God damn it.
Oh, you're a dumbass.
And congratulations to Adam for winning this round of Console Honor Roll.
Pokemon Stadium 2. If it was like number 4, maybe, you know?
Shit.
Number 1.
Some other highlights from the overall list. At number 11, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire.
I was wondering where Shadows of the Empire was going to be.
Dash Render running around doing the speeder thing from Hoth. Fun times. Never played it myself. I know people like it. Number 13, Majora's Mask. Masking up. Fighting the moon.
Masking
doing fun
up.
stuff.
I got a question for you, real quick.
Yes.
When we were kids, there's probably Chad more for you because Cozy was like 2 years old. People didn't like Majora's Mask, right? Like this erasure of people like thinking it's like the best Zelda game ever. When we were kids, no one liked Majora's Mask. They were like, this game sucks. Right?
Here's the thing about Majora's Mask. When I was a kid, Majora's Mask, the mask, fucking cool as shit.
Oh no, it looks cool. Yeah.
You see this thing on a box art, and you're like, "Oh my god, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life," and I have to have it. But it was also fucking difficult as shit, and it was obtuse, and the time thing, and people did not. I never beat it until the 3DS version came out. And yes,
there was not a kid that I knew that enjoyed playing that video game.
No,
period.
No, yeah, especially with
Majora's
the
Mask.
time loop.
No,
you know, you guys being older than me, you can definitely speak probably more authoritatively to this than, you know, I'm able to. Majora's Mask definitely had a very similar arc to a lot of other Zelda games in that it reviewed very well at the time of its release. Like, I think IGN gave it like a 9.9 out of 10. Like, critics loved it, but like, yeah, people were not enamored with it. And it took like a few years for people to really kind of come around to it. But at the time, opinions were more mixed. It definitely did not help that this game came directly after Ocarina of Time, which was like regarded as, oh, this is the golden child of the franchise. This is perfection.
Hey guys, Wind Waker. We didn't like Wind Waker when it first came out, guys. Yeah. I know everyone loves it now because that Wii U port. We did not fucking like it back then.
Yeah. And not as beloved, but same thing with Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess got great reviews. People were more mixed about it, and then over time, people have come around on it.
That's because Nintendo's in the pocket of big reviewers.
Maybe.
But okay, give us after 13.
Yeah. A couple of other ones. 14, WCW NWO Revenge. Number 16, another Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. People really like that one.
Yeah.
And finally, at number 21, can you see it through the mist? Can you see it through the fog? It's obscured. It's Turok 2, Seeds of Evil. But those cool dinosaurs.
That was a cool game. Yeah.
And that is it for Console Honor Roll.
What's the... I think the Turok 2 cheat code is I am Oblivion or something like that. I am the Oblivion Turok 2. What is this?
No, just type in Turok 2 cheats.
Oh, beware, Oblivion is at hand. That's
what is that?
Which unlocks all the available cheats. Hell yeah.
Oh, that's
Hell
cool.
yeah. I almost had that memorized. That's it for Game On Game Show. That's it for episode 407 of Respawn Aim Fire. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for coming back, Cozy, and not just staying naked in the cottage up there with your Nintendo Switch and your DVDs and your Highwaymen
hanging around in my boxer shorts while my clothes dried over the bathtub.
Over the bathtub at the BAFTAs. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. You remember you have homework. Your homework is always the same thing. It's go play the game that we're playing for Barf that you told us to play, which is Power Wash Simulator. Tell us about your experience with Power Wash Simulator, either via text form in a variety of different ways that you can get that to us, or via mouth form. on the podcast itself when you're here live. Speaking of, go watch our previous Barf episode, which was Clair Obscure Expedition 33. After you've beat the game, because spoilers as hell. Special guest Jerica from JK Games and Dave from LinkedIn were there. Go check that out. And then, of course, After Dark, episode 8. Go listen to the epic conclusion in the IKEA saga. And then if you're not a patron, go listen to episode 7, where you get the 2 towers of the IKEA saga, the middle one, before the Return of the King comes home. That's it, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Oh, and go and I don't know what social media does Joel use. Go whatever social media Joel is on. Blue Sky, Twitter.
He's
go
on
over
Blue
to that
Sky,
one.
yeah.
Send him a little message that says, "Dude, what's with all the pickles?" He's gonna have
What's
no
with
idea
all
what it
the
means.
pickles?
He's gonna have no idea what it means. Go do it. All right, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, here's our usual sign off. Bid Fortuna, that Star Wars guy. Blah 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 pizza, pizza.